Hello and welcome everyone, I'm Madals and this is game number 3 of a best of 5. It is a ZvZ and game 1 and 2 have looked like a back and forth game where one moment one player looks ahead and then suddenly one of them comes storming in and just wins the game through good timings and just knowing when is a good point to push. So anyway, in the top right position spawning is the green Zerg. It is hOpe from Mouse Sports and his opponent down in the bottom left, the blue Zerg from Quantic, it's HyuN. HyuN, of course, is currently 2-0 up, and being a best of 5, that means if he wins this game, he takes the series. Whoop-de-doop. If he loses this game, he's only got to win the one after that, and he still wins the series. Whoop-de-doop. Meanwhile, hOpe, he's got a bit of pressure. hOpe's got to sit there and win every game from now on, the next 3. If he wants a chance, that's going to be very frustrating for him and very, very hard. Because, of course, HyuN is just a boss. Now, what we'll be seeing on Whirlwind. Whirlwind is a big map. Now, it's a really big map. That means hatch first, probably very likely. Especially because it's a 4-player spawn. If it was forced cross, you could see early pulls. Just in the sense that you could still try and rush over there and deal a little bit of damage and hope you get away with it. But being 4 spawn positions, if you went for an early pull, you've first got to scout where your opponent is. And then once you've done that, you've actually got to get the units there. Really quite tough. Going to delay things. Add in the long rush distance. It just wouldn't be that great. Both players are going to go for this hatch first. Hope getting his up at identically the same time. That is ridiculously close. I think that was actually simultaneous. There may have been a small gap between it, but like that was 100th of a second. Very close things so far. Of course, making a big deal out of something so insignificant as that. When it's that close, it's just the joys of being a caster. You can make a huge fuss about it when in reality, meh. Now, this is actually quite big though. Is the gas pull from hOpe just a pull down from HyuN? So same build as game number 2 from both these two players at the moment. Remember, hOpe by getting this down, he went for speed but kept 3 drones in the gas. What that allowed him to do is get a Baning Nest early. However, HyuN managed to scout it very quickly, and therefore it was never used to do anything. If though, and this is a big if, it goes unscouted, potentially it can lead to some fun times for hOpe, where he can use Banings effectively and maybe catch HyuN off guard. That'd be good. That'd be very good for hOpe. Now, as we see though, HyuN, he's just sending his overlords around. He knows his opponent's not down in the bottom right because you don't have to scout all the way to their base because ZvZ, you know, they're going to be creep spread. Oh yeah. Meanwhile, hOpe does the same thing up here. Goes, okay, no creep spread. Guess I'll head down. Both players now, it could be cross spawns. It could be vertical spawns. That's the only thing they don't know. Neither player have scouted the respective other, if that makes sense, for vertical spawns. So that's all good. Actually, a vertical spawn's disabled. I don't think they are. They might be. Maybe I've just got a bit crazy. I think HyuN's sending the Zergling, though, up towards the top. So maybe I'm not crazy. Sometimes they wonder, though. No, there we go. Yes, so HyuN is going to go and scout there. It's because both of them send both of their overlords cross spawn after scouting the horizontal that my brain was just like, maybe it's not them. Maybe I've gone crazy. Maybe I just can't remember anymore. It doesn't matter. Anyway, we do see the Baning Nest coming down from hOpe once again. Currently, only one Zergling trying to sneak its way up here. HyuN's going to be met by a Queen, which will pick it off. So no scouting information coming through there. A little bit frustrating. HyuN, though, still getting down the Spine Crawler. Knows what he saw in game number 2. I'm probably thinking, well, it would make logical sense that he's doing the same thing. He also these Queens. Denying the scouting is actually a bit of a giveaway because you're always going to sit there and be like, why is he trying to stop me scouting him so much? What is he hiding? And the Baning Nest will come down. Of course, there aren't too many Zerglings out at the moment. We see that hOpe manages to sink through. We'll see the Spine Crawler. This positioning of the spine means it covers the ramp. If you move it forward, you can cover the ramp up into the natural. You've got to make sure you've got Queens there for a while. hOpe getting his lair up really quickly again, so an incredibly similar build to game number 2. And who can blame him? Because in game number 2, until a couple of, well, really just one big roach little sneak by which demolished a huge number of workers, I would have actually said hOpe was at least on a level playing field, if not slightly ahead in that game, which is mainly probably influencing his decision to play like this. Now, HyuN gonna run in 4 Zerglings this time, definitely gonna get the scout out. It'll be really hard to deny this. We'll therefore see that there's the Baning Nest, there's the layer timing, there is the 4th gas timing. The only gas he hasn't seen coming down is this one, so it would be nice if he could have confirmed it, but can't as of yet. But still gonna be thinking, okay, at least 3 gases plus a lair. Is this going to be fast Mutalisks? That's one of the things that's going to be popping into his head. Anyway, you know it's going to be relatively quick tech of some kind. It could be Hydras coming out really quickly. That's really the big options. But the other thing is making him probably think that it could be a Spire is that he hasn't seen a Roach Warren. No Roach Warren is going to make you think, what's going on? And there we go, right on cue. Down comes the Spire from Hope. And HyuN, it'll be interesting to see how he reacts to this, because he's just doing the same thing. Double Evo, getting the Roach Warren down, still seeing a 4 queens, and just going about his normal stuff. Now starting his lair, very late though. Will be done in time though. Of course, the lair takes 80 seconds, the Spire 100. The Spire was 20 seconds ahead. Now, this doesn't offer too much to the lair in itself, but if a Hydrogen came down, Spore Crawlers, especially after their buff, just means they deal with small numbers of Mutalisks very effective, buying enough time to get out the Hydrogen in order to defend most things, especially the 1-1 upgrades. Hydrogen be very effective, but Hope coming in with an Overseer. Gonna take a quick little peek. What's happening, what's going down. Ideally wants to scout this third. Will be able to. This is a big scout, especially when there's some Zerglings coming over. Sixlings may not seem like much, but with only the queens here, actually that can be a little bit problematic for HyuN to deal with, because HyuN for the moment only got 3 roaches coming out. They've only just popped. This hatchery is going to take some damage. Even if he doesn't get the cancel like he did in game number 2, he would be able to force a lot of damage done to it, and if he wants to, deciding to pull back, but he's already done some damage. That means when it's finished, it's slightly weaker, a little bit more vulnerable to say some Mutalisk harassment. Always see how this all pieces together. It's all good. HyuN though starting his Hydrogen ultra fast. Couple of lings trying to get through. Is the Hydrogen going to get scouted? Yes, it should now, because speedlings on creep are ridiculously fast. They come through. See absolutely everything. Meanwhile, HyuN hasn't seen the Spire, and not seeing the Spire is a bit of a problem for him, because he doesn't know yet that there's Mutalisks 100% coming down. He also has seen though that there was a third, so knows it's not some kind of 2-base all-in, although 2-base all-in Mutalisks not really in fashion anymore, especially after the Spore Crawler change. Can't get enough of them to really be stupidly effective. You see 7 Mutas out, 1 more on the way. That's going to take us up to 8 of them. And they are getting revealed very early to pick off some Overlords. This isn't going to buy time to get more Hydralisks out. It's also going to mean that if HyuN felt too threatened, he could have then just chucked down some Spore Crawlers. One of the reasons Hope may have done this though is because he saw that the Hydrogen had already been started, and therefore assumed that Hydras will be coming out and his opponent knows what's up. Just going to reveal them quickly, try and pick off any damage while he can. A couple of queens moving a long way forward. We do see, of course, APM-wise, effective APM that is, it's relatively close, but in now comes HyuN. He's gonna really just try pushing forward with the queens there though. The Mutalisks have to be careful, because these 2 queens have got a lot of energy on them, and what that entails is that actually they're able to transfuse consistently, and therefore these Mutalisks probably wouldn't fare too well. HyuN as well now with a couple of Hydras is going to start pushing forward. He's looking fairly strong, and well, as he starts to look fairly strong, moving forward, going to try and get a little bit of damage done. Hope though, getting himself back into a bit of an interesting position. 12 more roaches. HyuN going with the approach to, but if you're going Mutas, I'm going to just kill you. Transfusers coming down here now on some of these roaches at the front, trying to keep them alive as long as possible. Good transfusers coming down here from HyuN. He's spiking nearly over 700 APM there. But just superior numbers of units are going to help. But a lot of Mutalisks went down. In terms of resources lost, Hope has still lost a bit more. He's still losing stuff as those Mutalisks have now died. Unfortunately for HyuN though, his army getting chased down by a couple more roaches. The resources lost is perilously similar. And of course, Hope just 2 workers ahead. Reinforcements coming in for HyuN. HyuN seeing a 1-1 again up against 1-0. So once more we do see that Hope not getting the double upgrades. This game, crazy close at the moment. I don't know which way it's going to go. Both players trying to pump out a lot of units. A lot of roaches here for Hope, but Roach Hydra for HyuN. HyuN, of course, with the 1-1 up against 1-0 of Hope. The Mutalisks didn't really do anything, and they were quite a big investment in terms of gas lost. If we take a quick look at that, we can see that the overall gas lost by Hope is a bit more, and that's actually quite an important thing to note on, because Hope needs that gas ideally to get out the new tech, get the upgrades out, etc. His Hydrogen just about to finish. That's going to start flooding through. Hope pushing forward though, getting a couple of Overseers into this mix. Oh sorry, Hope's already got an Overseer. HyuN getting Overseer. They're going to kiss, make baby Overseers absolutely everywhere. 5th and 6th gas coming down here for HyuN. 5th gas done for Hope, not his 6th though, so he does have a decent amount of gas, or did have until he made 11 Hydralisks. He's also getting group spine upgrades down for those Hydras. That means increased range, going to get a better attack arc, etc, etc, etc. Now, both players are going to be a little bit passive. We can see their work accounts favouring Hope, 61 to 55 actually. HyuN needs to try and squeeze away the drones out, otherwise he could run into a bit of problems. He's down in supply, and that's because his income Well, his income's a little bit lower, especially on the mineral front, because he's mining from that 6th gas geyser. We can see that he's actually mining about 600 minerals less a minute. That's quite substantial, because it's been like that for quite a while, and therefore, hOpe actually going to be really happy about that. He's got a good size army. He's now about 40 odd supply ahead of that of HyuN, and HyuN has to be very careful, especially with the next 12 roaches coming out here. They can start pushing in. This is a nearly maxed out hOpe, who's got missile attack level 2, only 30 seconds away from completion, plus Groove Spines has now kicked in, but Groove Spines for HyuN should be finished to a Queen out of position that gets one-shotted, not too fun, and still these roaches gonna start heading forward just an incy-wincy bit more. Gonna come around, gonna try and get a nice little attack arc. hOpe looking to be in a really good position here. HyuN, not a good engagement angle for him, and as you can see now, hOpe dealing a lot of damage. The upgrade lead isn't gonna be enough though for HyuN. hOpe's +2 has added into this mix though, so that means the upgrades aren't too good. Now the third base starting to look a little bit vulnerable. hOpe, if he snipes this off, will be in an amazingly good position. HyuN pulling drones, never a good sign. Even with this army now goes down, hOpe of course has done a huge amount of damage. HyuN looking to be in a lot of problems. Has he not? I didn't not commit enough in terms of that drone count. You see hOpe taking a big beating, but so careful is HyuN, who is at the 2-1 upgrades compared to 2-0, but hOpe with more units coming in. Some of those hydras engaging on the roaches to the back. Very close fight. I think it's just going to go in favour of HyuN, but HyuN lost a lot of drones there. His income now significantly lower. And well, HyuN, he's trying to get another 9 drones out, but are they going to be able to get out? A contamination comes down here from hOpe, playing HyuN at his own game, going like, I saw this contamination play in a couple of games previously, and I thought it was good, so I'm going to copy it. More roaches though coming out. We can see the army supply now hugely in favour of hOpe. If he just goes for another big shove, which I really think he may, it could be massively good for him. HyuN does now have his drone count looking a bit more level, 61, soon to be 64 up against 63, so we'll level that out, but that's a long period of time where he is a long way down in terms of income. Anyway, and then he lost a lot of workers. He lost 13 in total, which isn't huge, but it's quite a chunk. The 4th hatch coming up here as well now. To be honest, hOpe looking in a very strong spot, 170 supply to 120, but as we see in games number 1 and games number 2, HyuN, if you give him a window of opportunity, he will exploit it. He knows how to come back from what seems like a bit of a back foot position, and he's doing so by sending a couple of roaches through. Gonna find this base, gonna start chipping away at it. But not before roaches come in to deal with it for hOpe. hOpe really looking to have stepped up his play this game. Let's send the roaches around as well, because 2-3 units, well, any kind of 3 units are good 3 units, because it's just making that resources lost tip slightly more in your favour. It means that when you've done good economic damage to your opponent, you're going to be slightly happier every time you trade. The army supply is now 132 to 82. I don't think HyuN will be able to hold. It's going to be really tough for him. He does have the 2-1 upgrades up against 2-0, so a small lead there, but just the sheer army supply and having more stuff is massive. hOpe knows it. He hugs straight up onto this army. The Hydra roaches annihilating pretty much everything that HyuN has here, and look at this, double the army supply now. We see that hOpe getting the infestation, but down 10 more roaches coming through. GG, and hOpe starts his comeback, or his potential comeback, to take the series to 2-1 in HyuN's favour. So still match point. Game number 4 is going to be coming up. Make sure you like this video, leave a cool comment, and of course subscribe, and then flick over to my channel, and I'll see you at game number 4 in just a second.